morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Thursday, number 11 day for this number 8 month for the year 2022. My name na Capo Daniels, the spokesman of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King, our own countryman. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where we bring una meaningful information, the truth, facts-based analysis for help we as we waka for this our journey to our freedom, the independence of Ambazonia. Great people of Ambazonia. Today na the birthday of Ambazonian Liberation War leader, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, a man of powerful words, a man of action, one of the few Ambazonian leaders who have walked the walk and is talking the talk. But first, in the great capital of Ambazonia, in Buea. For inside Buea, some new snack bar where they call them say Splendor, where do they for corner the entrance for Obech, for upper Bonduma, Dambi Bond. One person, he be contact we, he complain, say people that they chop life for inside Buea, like say war in no day. These two individual them would advise them about the issue for no born personal property, but who go blame them? Then talk say inside Buea, people that they chop life like say war in no day. We advise our people and say war only means say chaos.
Obej Bonuma, directly beside Martin's complex, Splendor.
Now true say as war it go, people the way they live their life, they go about their life normally, where they need to even support the war effort or the armed resistance against Cameroon terrorism. It make them plenty people their heart, it bite, their belly they bite. We call on all business owners them for Ambazonia for make sure say that they do their civic duty, their national duty, for support the armed resistance. Because if you open your bar very late for night, they organize only party them. You need to support the forces them. But before they go down, people that they forget say Ambazonia they for war. They need to respect lockdown properly. It show say you make them people the way they don't lost people them for the war. People the way they don't lost all their life, their property, their earnings, and their future. People that don't come out for University of Buea, they see drive na Ben skin for street for Buea. They get bad belly, their belly they bite. Now why that way the person he born that bar? Now why that way? Now the reason that way don't get for me. What one person for Ambazonia. And that one a responsibility. But na a news and a message for all Ambazonian bar owners them. Say me gonna not do begin to celebrate let's say war in no day. We need for day in a war time mindset. Now time for make sacrifices them for the future of the small picking the way they grow up and in the future for our country. Why? For sweet news where they come out for inside do video footage is them for the two La Republic du Cameroon, their terrorist forces them where they don't fall, being neutralized by Ambazonian fighter them for inside dop. It don't come out for social media. For the rare video will be released by Francophone activists, they show how La Republic then carry two of their dead colleagues. They put their dead body for inside the mortuary and for their motor them. This one a big blow for La Republic du Cameroon, where their colonial prime minister he don't come for talk, say they don't win Ambazonia and the war it don't stop, and Ambazonian fighter they don't lay their arms together. La Republic they deal in self-deception. They lie themselves and they lie the international community. Now just a matter of time for reality for catch up with them. Ladies and gentlemen, when I go permit me for dwell a little bit into our history, as I want use them like my own way for celebrate this great man, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, a man who comes from a family of heroes. A British military man, we fight and defend Southern Cameroon. He be exported abroad, like one of many Africans, where they be recruit them, make them fight against imperialism for Europe and for free the British, the French, and the West and their allied against the forces of Nazi Germany. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he be fight a good fight. He be return for Ambazonia and he raised his son for inside the harbor city, the port city, the Bay of Ambazonia, beautiful Victoria. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he hailed from the great state of Mezam, na a Mancon boy. Mancon, it don't always be the strength of Ambazonia, the place where the colonial master them, don't always the fear power where it could come from Mancon. From the early stages of the German incursion into the grassfield land, they will incur a lot of resistance, the greatest which it will be a joint force between the Mancon people and the Bafut people. They fought the foreign invaders, killing a lot of white-skinned men. After the British government, it will submit document them for the United Nations for recognize a territory where it be capture them for the Germans, when our country, the British Cameroons. The document they will be approved for 1946. Our territory, Ambazonia, it will be divided for 1949 into two provinces. One of the province will be called Bamenda, with the capital for Bamenda, and the other province it will be called Boya, with the capital for Boya. So we need to know how our country it will be start for be divided into two for administrative purposes. Now the British government, they will see say, be fine, we will divide them into two, forget two outlook. One for the grassland, another one for the savannah. And that one either inform the policy for the projection of our territory and its outlook to be the savannah states and the Atlantic states. That was the best model according to our geography at that time, which still remains the same, and according to our population demography. For implement these two provinces, then where they be create them out of our territory, the British government, they be study them. They be see say, Bamenda, it be too strong. It will be well organized in terms of the structure of the traditional council and their juju and their army and their ability for wage war and for protect their borders. So there be delay with the plan to implement the province, administrative province for inside Bamenda, the Bamenda province, but they be choose for appoint a special delegate, the person who will govern the Boya province, while they be abandoned for appoint somebody who will administer Bamenda province. They be appoint the first one will be Edward John Gibson. He will be appointed as a special resident for 1st of October 1954. They be sending for inside Boya. Now he be the governor of our territory for Boya. They be want me all administration. It move away from a power base where if it be possibly for challenge the authority them for the colonial master. Power it be meant for shift away from Bamenda so that it go fit suit the foreign interests of the colonizers. Throughout the British rule through Nigeria of Ambazonia, they have never been appointed any resident to govern the Bamenda province. Political capital, political power have always been designed to be shifted away from Bamenda for the purpose of undermining indigenous rights and the rights of the people of the entire Ambazonian territory. Even when John Foncha became the Prime Minister of Ambazonia, he made sure he maintained that divide of making sure nobody from Mancon in particular and to an extent in Bafut is put in any powerful position that will empower the indigenous people and the strong base of fighters within that region. The Mancon man have always been seen as a man who does not need to have political power. The Cameroon government, once they recolonize our territory, they make sure for Nangwafo, somebody who was aligned with them during their negotiation with John Foncha, is maintained as the fon of Mancon, despite the fact that the traditional council, the Ngumba house in Mancon at that time, had chosen somebody else to be the fon. Mancon, the Mancon man, have always been the one which power should never pass near for the sake of empowering Ambazonia. Today, as we are in the 5th year to fight to liberate our homeland, Bamenda being the capital of our resistance, the Mancon man have risen from a family that was obscure, a line of fighters. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba have risen to be the inspiration, the firebrand that have fueled the fire in the hearts of the youth of Ambazonia from Fako to Meme to Ngokitunja Tubui, to pick up arms and fight for our freedom. The Mancon warrior have risen to fall no more for Ambazonia. Today, we celebrate a great warrior, a selfless individual who have dedicated his entire life to fight for the freedom of our country, Ambazonia. From the doors of the United Nations, he led Ambazonia in an inspirational speech that invoked our spirit of nationalism, patriotism, and ready our people for battle.
I'm here to tell the United Nations that the land they mortgaged to Cameroon will be recaptured by the brilliant people of Ambazonia.
Right, yes.
That the complicity they have with the United Kingdom will be dampened. That your spirit, the indomitable spirit that has led you from your homes right here to this plaza, will not be extinguished by the banality of evil installed in our homeland. That the spirit that has awakened from the dusty street of Mutangane to the islands of Bamenda will not be squashed by the brutality of Cameroon, the complicity of the United Nations, and the utter silence of the United Kingdom. For the blood of our people spilled for those who've gone before us. We stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood wasn't spilled in vain.
As our people cheer on, little did we look into the content of what Dr. Cho Lucas was saying. What was to be the inspiration of self-defense, Ambazonian rising, was being laid in the hearts and mind of our people by the brilliant Mancon man, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. In the heart of that man, in his mind, was a plan to raise an army to make our land ungovernable to the occupier, to make our territory liberated block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, until the last Cameroon occupation forces is booted out of the land of our birth.
Really, really good. I really don't need to introduce him, but you know him, you've seen him, you believe in combat.
Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, introduced in Washington, D.C. in front of the White House by Chris Ano as a man who believed in Ambazonian combat and freedom.
I live here. Put your hands together and welcome
Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba has inspired a never-again generation.
Block by block, rooftop by rooftop, my fellow Ambazonians, sons and daughters of the Ambazonian Revolution. It is not time to celebrate. This is war. It is not time to celebrate. They robbed you of your homeland. They took away your hope. They robbed you of the right to dream of a future in the country of your birth. They murdered your citizens. They transform your brain to think like a Cameroonian, to worship their flag, to sing their anthem, to pray, hope, and dream like a Cameroonian. They took away the land of your birth. They demonized you. They robbed you of hope, of a dream of a future that is better than the one you inherited. They killed your parents, turned your fathers into boys, raped your mom, made your sisters to be ashamed, robbed them in more. They sent you into exile. You lost your neighborhood. They dispersed your friends. You became delinquent in a land that you did not understand. They took away something so essential to your own existence that you live here with your body, but your spirit hovers without knowing where to land. They took away from us something so important that life became something we have rejected in this land. They took away from you a country that gave you hope, built the first democratic system where there was an electoral government change. They took away from you your economic system. They blockade your social system. They crumbled your economy so you could go into their own system to work for them. They made you drive through their own system so you could pay toll gate into their own system. They robbed you of your right to think, to hope, to have a future in the country of your birth. 243 years ago, the Americans told the British that their time of independence was now. They fought for 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. They lost the Battle of Boston, but they won the war for the freedom of the United States.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The South Africans face a nuclear power. They face a nuclear power country. Mandela said he is going to die for his people. He struggled in jail for 27 years because he didn't want to bequeath to the next generation something worse than he had inherited. He fought like a valiant soldier. The Eritreans humbled the Ethiopians, a more powerful Ethiopia supported by Libya and Russia. They fought in trenches, in gutter holes, and rooftop to be able to bequeath to the next generation something better. Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block.
And indeed, Ambazonia have risen to fall no more, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, until we reach Boya. Happy birthday, CIC, the leader of our liberation war, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba.